Hey, True Believers, Englentine here, and with me is, of course, Back Issue Breen. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right.
All righty, we've got a topic here. We've talked about this a little bit here and there. I want to talk about basically how you have been and I am starting to react to new comic books. Now, this is the fact that it seems like we're done. You yourself have said you're not buying anymore. You've especially since you found a truck full of back issues that you have access to, that's just making me incredibly jealous. Something happened to me a few weeks ago. I went to I told everybody about this. I went to a show that they were having, my local comic book shop. It was a warehouse sale. Closest thing to a comic convention I've been to. And I told everybody, okay, I'm not going to be buying new books because I want to buy, the old books for the auction and everything. So I will be spending money with a company, just not on that. Well, they said, well, we were going to have to put everything back because you just let too many books go in. And I kept telling them, is this okay? Is this okay? And they said, yes. Well, I'm starting to feel obligated now. It's not that I want to get these things. It's that I feel like I have to because I asked them to order them for me. And it's just no fun. It's no fun anymore, especially when you consider the books aren't all that great, guys. So obviously you've come to this. And by the way, I showed you this before, but because they said that, you're running behind. Can you pick up some of your books? Blah, blah, blah. Like that this represents my spending cash plus a whole bunch of saved back issue dollars, a whole bunch of saved back issue cards. They have these programs where if every $10 you spend, you get a back issue buck. If every 100 you get a card that has 15% off. So it's basically like spending favors and such. And I got that, and I just felt so freaking empty. I really did. It was like, yeah, this just doesn't do it. I'm going to read these. Hopefully I'm going to get some reviews out of it on Old Man Comics, but I'm not having fun anymore with new issues.
No, a wise person once said, never let your hobby become a job. And that's what I mean by that is because that's how it got, with me. When I was years ago, I was buying everything that came out and I was enjoying most of it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times it was like I couldn't catch up with the new stuff to enjoy the rest of the hobby.
Yeah.
And the new books kept getting more expensive. And then it hit a time where the percentage of books I was enjoying went from close to 100% down to maybe 80, then down to maybe 60. And eventually it got to where I'm thinking, and I'm not really enjoying much of the new output at all. But I kept buying it every week because I was, in my case, it was, I'd become a slave to my collection, or maybe in your case, it's more like you're doing it for YouTube purposes. You're getting them to read, to do reviews.
I don't even think I'm doing that, though. I think I'm doing it because I feel obligated to the store for some reason.
Okay, well, maybe if you ask them to order them specifically for you, that's one thing. But I know that if a store orders properly, they would much rather you buy back issues than new books because the markup's better.
No, that's a thought into it. But yeah, I picked up just a part of it, and I'm looking through, and even Daredevil, by the way. Daredevil is starting to fall for me because of the Elektra thing. And here's a problem I have. And this is a whole new topic, and we'll talk about this. I have a problem when somebody puts on another person's clothes, and then everybody refers to them as the person whose clothes they're wearing. When Sam was flying around in the Captain America outfit, and people were like, you're Captain America. No, it just doesn't fit. Not that, and let's not even go to the whole identity thing in the promotion. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you started wearing, say, my dad's clothes, Breen, I'm not going to call you dad. I'm going to know it's you, If I've known somebody for as long as these Avengers have known each other, then I'm not going to call Sam Captain America, because I also know Steve Rogers. Everybody that's encountering Elektra in Daredevil's outfit knows that she's Elektra. So call her freaking Elektra, because that's how you know her. At the very least, you should have people going, oh, I'm sorry, Daredevil, that's going to take some getting used to. I don't know. But it's immediate, and it's just kind of silly and stupid. So, you know, that's one I'm hoping gets better, but I don't know. Stillwater, I'm still good into, and you're going to notice a little something that the independents are winning. Actually, surprisingly enough, Shang-Chi was fun. This is the last issue. As a matter of fact, so was Unkindness of Ravens. That's the last issue. This was really good. This is Grindel, Kentucky. Guess what? Last issue. Green Hornet was okay. Last issue. Dynamite I had fun with. Guess what?
Last issue.
But hey, I haven't read this. You recommended it, so I got it. So fingers crossed. This one, I got to tell you, I enjoyed, but the first issue didn't thrill me, so I'm going to give this one its last chance. Thankfully, this is a one shot, so we'll see. I like the mini series, so whatever. An obligation buy right here. They got me the trade dress rather than that. You recommended it, so I picked it up. But this I got because it came out, and I've got to tell you, I don't have a lot of interest to tell you the truth.
What that is.
Oh, this is Joker #1. This is the alternate cover. Now, this looked interesting, so I picked it up. But then I opened it up, and there's a whole thing on how Americans see communism, and it kind of plays off as the Americans are wrong. So I'm really wanting to know how that one goes. Once again, I like the wraparound cover. I'll give it that, but I don't know. I got to tell you, I picked it up. This I read digitally before I picked up. I'm genuinely excited about. I don't know why I picked this up. This is Peach Momoko's X-Men title. I don't get Peach Momoko, but everybody now I do know why I picked it up. I don't know why people like Peach Momoko, but they do, and that sold the freaking hell out. And I got the last copy at the store, so I figure if it does any good, I could put it on eBay. I don't even know what this is. I honestly have no idea what Berserker is. They said they put it in my box, and I figured, all right, whatever. People are talking about it. Maybe it'd be nice if because apparently it's a character like Keanu Reeves. Legitimately good series right here. And then I think this is the very last comic book from DC Comics that I'm going to spend more than $5 on. I'm sorry, but I'm done with that. I really am. This whole thing about every 2 weeks them putting out a freaking prestige format $8.99, $9.99 book, done. I don't care if it's the 50th, 60th anniversary of Ambush Bug or whatever. Well, okay, maybe that one, but I'm done. I'm done with that, and that's part of the problem. That's $8. Yeah. You know, for just a couple of more at my auction, I started off the first appearance of Nebula. You know, that you could get good books for $10. You could get legitimately good back issues for $10. So it's ridiculous. I'm just not feeling satisfied from the new books anymore. And it's not any of the SJW this, the SJW that. It's just the stories aren't all that good. And yes, there are some of the SJW politics.
Well, I've noticed in the last several years that the telling of stories, even the good ones, it's fundamentally different from what we read when we were in our day, so to speak. And because there are certain rules now that writers have to follow regardless of what kind of story they're telling. And there's certain boxes that have to be checked. And this isn't a knock on anything, but if there's a man and a woman, the woman absolutely has to be equal to, in 9 out of 10 cases, more capable than her male counterpart.
Yeah.
That's now you can call that payback for the misogynist days of yore, but it's just that, like I said, it has to be worked into a story. You're never going to see a story again where, yeah, like if the man has to save the woman, it's going to be understood that the woman could have saved herself and will probably end up having to save the man who bungles it. It's now, and I'm not, and again, I'm not talking about, I'm not even calling that an SJW trope. I'm saying that is just the way comics are now, and there's no balance. Maybe you can say there wasn't balance then, there isn't balance now, but when you have to follow more rules than you ever had to in order to tell a story, sometimes by the time you get done following all the rules, you forgot to do the story.
Yeah. Well, it's one thing I used to say is they put the message before the story. And it is so prevalent these days. Back in the 80s, they used to do this kind of thing. The whole men screw it up, the women come in. But it was as humorous. It was actually played as a laugh and a joke, and we were in on it. And now it's not humorous anymore. They are playing it flat out, not just straight, but angry.
Yeah, if the woman comes in because she was smarter than the guy or whatever, that's fine. But when you have the 5'2", 100-pound woman, beating the hell out of a platoon of Marines to save the once capable superhero, who's now has to play the buffoon that can't take care of themselves. It does. At some point, it becomes forced. Now, it's certainly, now good writers can pull it off, but again, you have the new rules have certain mandates, and again, I said that, and that's fine if that's what the new generation of readers want. That's fine, but I don't care to be attacked because that's not for me.
Yeah. And judging by sales numbers, the new generation of readers aren't enjoying that either.
No, you're right. I mean, I know some books do still sell, and there's so much more competition for your dollar now, and that's a conversation for another time. Is why the comic book industry feels like they have to try to compete with live action in video games when you cannot compete with those.
One of the things that they used to say, and once again, guys, we've been at this for 5 years. This channel's about almost 6 years old now. I think it might be 6 years old. And even back then, something I said back then that all of a sudden, all that is old is new again, is the fact that they are going for the mythological audience that's out there. There's more girls out there reading than guys. No, they're reading anime or manga. Sorry, I get those two mixed up. They're not reading comic books, and that's one of the reasons why I think you're seeing stuff like that crappy young adult novel line that's going on, or you bring in the Vita Ayelas to write quote unquote stories and such like that. But the problem is do those young audiences want to read about whatever demographic? Because you're not letting your characters be characters. I just posted a video we did a while back about how there's a Mary Sue in every book, and that's the whole thing. They're not allowing anybody to have any dimensions. They're perfect out the gate. So where do you have to go from there?
Yeah, and another thing, this trying to court a young female audience. Here's one problem with that as it pertains to the comic book industry. And I'm not talking about segments of the comic book industry. I'm talking about virtually the entire industry. What isn't geared at young girls now in society? Everything is.
True. That's true.
You turn on a commercial, everyone you see is going to be about female empowerment in sports. There's never one about the guys because I guess we've had our time. So there are, again, it's about competition for that entertainment dollar. when there's, you know, YA novels, when there's, you know, all the young adult networks, you know, like Freeform and you know, whatever that might be, they are almost all geared towards that audience that everybody is courting.
And that leaves us out to dry.
Right. But it also, if you're those young girls, by the time you've bought your YA novels, bought your this, you know, consumed your that, you may not have any time or money left to buy those comic books that the industry has catered towards you. And the guys who are out there going, man, there's nothing left for me. Maybe I'll go read. Oh no, those are aimed at her too.
Which brings it back to the topic at hand, which is, are modern day comics dead to you? It seems like it might just be because they've, as guys, and here's, I'm going to get around to a point that I thought about while you were talking there. It seems like as guys, they're pushing us out. So not only, it's not that they're dead to us, it's they're shut off to us. See, and here's one of the big differences between when they're written for guys, according to, you know, what the comic book creators, when they were trying to shut women out, bullcrap. The comic books weren't about demographics. The comic books were about ideals. Mm-hmm. And you could get behind ideals of heroism. You know, you could get behind that kind of thing, individualism, so forth and so on. Now they're written for demographic. They're not written for ideals. If you write for the ideals, that's something that anybody, no matter what, you guy, girl, black, white, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you are. You could go, wow, I see myself in I've said this before. And one of my favorite heroes when I was growing up was Power Man, Luke Cage. I didn't give a crap he was black. I thought he was cool as hell. And, you know, I liked the fact that he stood up for himself and he was a criminal. And I always wanted to be one of those. You know, it's just you could find something in somebody because you followed the ideals and not the fact that, oh, well, let me read this because he's got the same skin color, or that guy's gay. Hey, I'm gay, so let me read that book, which it seems more and more that's what they mostly care about. I'm not going to say all, but that's mostly what they care about these days.
No, that's true. So I remember when I first started reading, hell, the second issue of Fantastic Four I bought, Power Man replaced the Thing. I thought, this is cool. Yeah, I don't know who this guy is because I've only been reading for a month. I'd heard of the Thing because, you know, the cartoons and whatnot, but I thought, man, this is really cool. It never occurred to me that I was supposed to care more or less based on his skin color. When Ms. Marvel #1 came out, it never occurred to me that I wasn't supposed to like it because she's a girl.
And consider
they were comic book characters. That's all I needed.
That's it. Yeah. And consider this, the same people who are saying we should all focus on the gender, race, whatever, blah, blah, are the ones that look back at the time when we were kids and say it was archaic and far more racist and far more sexist than ever. No, we actually didn't give a crap. And that did, yes, allow us to say things and to joke about things that you would get canceled for today, but we didn't give a care. Nobody gave a care.
And that's why they have a problem with us, was because we weren't, when we read Power Man, we were just like that because it was a comic book character. I guess we were supposed to be outraged because there was not enough representation.
I guess.
And that's where, if that word had been thrown in my face every day in 1975 when I started this hobby, I don't know if I would have made it to 1977.
Yeah, I know. Which brings it to, are modern day comics really dead? What is it that you think can spark it? Now, I enjoy, obviously, as you saw as I was throwing them down, most of the ones I said, oh, wow, this is great, were independent comics.
Yeah, the ones so I'm still going to pick up a handful of independent comics for now. I'm, you know, Chariot and Man's World, Erratic, Casual Fling, all from the AWA. But even that, I noticed I watched one of Zach's videos about Chariot, and he didn't like it as much as I did, which is a good sign because that usually troubles me when he does like something. But he wasn't wrong when he was describing the male protagonist. He was written very soft.
I'll check it out.
No, I like the book, and I'm definitely gonna finish it. But even the heroes or whatever, they're just, again, they're written differently than they were. Because I don't think you're allowed to do the unapologetically masculine male protagonist anymore, unless you are doing crowdfunding. Because I guess the only place where you can get by with it.
Yeah. So, and I got to tell you, it's harder for me to actually even try a Marvel comic than more than ever now. There are a few characters that I will always gravitate to and go and pick up. Iron Fist is one of them. Daredevil's the other. Shang-Chi. If it's a miniseries, sure, I might pick up a Fantastic Four, but I'm always a little bit weary. I'm done with the X-Men. I have zero interest in the X-Men. I tell you that Peach Momoko thing was 100% a speculative buy. 100%. I thought, you know what? Okay, it's sold out. Let's see. If it does something, it does something. If not, I'll put it on eBay for a fin, see if I can't get my money back. That's absolutely it.
You know what I miss? Issue number 69, issue 141.
Yeah.
Because even the books that we talked about that we're enjoying, like Chariot, and I mentioned Erratic and whatnot, they're all miniseries. And a year from now, you may still be talking about Bad Mother, but maybe not anything else. And that's not a knock on those books. But when everything is a short series, it's hard to care about them long term.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The Green Lantern, Grant Morrison thing, I was not a fan of that concept because, as you point out,
seasons,
right, they're not seasons. Damn it, they are comic
books. I know it's,
and I want to, instead of starting over at number 1, give me issue 13, you bastard. Yep. And that's something that at least DC keeps their books going longer. And it's when I'm trying to file stuff, either at home or at the store, it's easier to navigate DC. Marvel, the guys that have been there every day for years don't know where to put. If they buy, a stack of X-Men from the 2010 to 2020, they have no idea where to put it. You look at, is this Marvel now? Is this all new, all different? Is this Marvel then? Well, this one has the red bottom. Where do you? And if, as a collector, you look at this stuff and go, I'm not messing with this.
Yeah, I mentioned how I went on this one website a while back. It's an eBay kind of thing. Some guy pointed out to me, hey, you can get all those comics on disc now. I said, really? Okay. So I bought everything, and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to keep up with this. Where do I find them? Okay, you can get here and here. And I stopped because of that kind of crap. Because beforehand it would be, oh, here's Batman Volume 1. Really? Yes, it goes from 1940 to all the way to 2011. And it's like, okay, yes. But now even we've had, 2 since 2010? This is freaking Batman, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
There's no sense in starting and restarting Batman. Same with Superman, which is why there's no freaking Detective Comics 1000. There's no freaking Action Comics 1000. I don't give a what anybody says. You're not going to convince me. They screwed it up. That's Action Comics Volume freaking 3. Yeah, you heard it before. And that's just another reason. So anyway, gang, there you go. I can't see any way Marvel's going to get me back. I'm never going to be a Marvel zombie again. I could tell you right now, I just do not trust the company enough. I might try an Iron Fist, or I might try a Moon Knight. If they put out Moon Knight, I might try that, depending on the name on the cover. Mm-hmm. If it's like Moon Knight by Aida Viella or whatever name, Vita, whatever her name is, I would say no. Drawn by Riley Rosmo. I don't care if it's freaking Batman. I don't care if they do the Eglantine story in comic book form. They get Riley Rosmo to draw it. I ain't reading it. It ain't happening. But to me, modern comics, are they completely dead to me? I'd be stupid to say absolutely, because there's independent comic books, and I'm not, and I am, both you and I have quit before. So, but
the fact
they sure are seem to be dying, and they're making it harder to go back, aren't they?
The fact that we're both still here means there's always a chance. And that's,
yeah.
And for now, that'll have to do.
I guess so. So anyway, gang, what about you? Are Marvel comics, are modern day comics dead to you? Are you, like us, more gravitating towards the independent side of things when it comes to modern day comics? Do you feel guilty for the money you spend, like I just did? I am now my wife's bitch because she's going to be buying everything this week for us. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell if you haven't done it already. And please help out the channel by commenting. Just say hi. That'd be cool as well. And if you want to help it out monetarily, go on over to Ko-Fi, drop $1 in the till, helps keep the lights on. This is the way I'm trying to make a living. Help me keep making videos for you. Thank everybody who's already done that. To everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.
Good night, kids.